Okay, guys, welcome to Slow Draft Someday here on Drafting Out Loud. And this is the draft that spawned what I was thinking in the prior video. We got 3 minutes left on the clock here, so getting this in just the nick of time here. And I got Rashad White queued up. I don't even like it. I had Casey Concepcion queued up before. In fact, what kind of messed this up was that Jonathan Brooks here. I missed out on him. Had to take Matthew Golden instead. And now I'm stuck with only two running backs. I was hoping that Brooks would be my third running back. He's not. And now it's either I grab a running back or I grab a wide receiver. I don't want a tight end because the next two picks after this, at pick like 125 and 130 or something like that. What are they? Maybe a little bit later than that. Pick 130 and 135. I'm hoping that I can push some tight ends around. Those tight ends are Mark Andrews and Jake Ferguson. I know that's a little bit tough, but I don't want to go up and grab them this early. I don't need to. I was really hoping that, this guy wouldn't. I mean, I wasn't even thinking about it, but I was really hoping this guy wouldn't take a tight end here as second tight end because I wanted more tight ends to be available on the other side of the board. But we're hoping that one of those two tight ends make it to us, or both of them would be even more ideal, make it to us. And so the question is, do we take Casey Concepcion here, who is maybe the higher upside player, or do we take the wide receiver? The problem is that I already have five wide receivers at this point in time. I only have two running backs. And I feel bad about taking the running back because I just don't think that there's a lot of juice in that profile. It's just going to he's going to help me advance maybe, but it's not a lot of juice in it because I'm going to go tight end here. I'm going to go tight end here. And then with these next two picks, there's intriguing running back or wide receiver, sorry, 154 and 159. And then at 178 and 183, I probably need to take more running backs here. And then I want to save at least one wide receiver to get like Elijah Surratt to go with Lamar Jackson. And then I probably need like a third tight end here as well, just because I'm grabbing my tight end so late. So I just can't grab another wide receiver here because if I grab another wide receiver here, then I'm leaving myself to like one more wide receiver later on, and I'm missing out on some intriguing wide receivers as well as stacks for Lamar Jackson, which I need, especially if I miss out on Mark Andrews. Try to speak through this rather quickly because I have only got 45 seconds left on the clock. So because of that, I think we're just forced to bite the bullet here and take Rashad White. The good news is that if we go and look at our leverage lab and look at our underdog market movers, you can see that Rashad White at least is one of the players rising up the board here. He is, where is he? Right here, rising up the board, 11 picks in the last week. So with that, let's just go take Rashad White at the clock. Boom. There we go. Don't feel good about it. Would rather have been able to get Brooks, who I actually like for the upside, and then on the way back around, grab either Matthew Golden if he was still there or Casey Concepcion if he was still there. So just got stuck in not the greatest position, but we'll make it work. Okay, we got 23 minutes left on this one. Oh, there's another one that is even less, I think. 7 minutes left on this one. Oh, this one probably is an easy one. Okay, so not really taking a lot of ETN, I don't think, but if you can get them at pick 42, I've seen other people do this in videos. I don't think I've had one chance to do this yet. If you get it pick 42 when he usually goes at 35, I think that's one thing you just got to take here. Luther Burden already went. Colston Loveland already went. This would be a play where maybe even at 55, taking Rome Odunze to pair with Amon-Ra, knowing that maybe at 66, I can pass on Caleb and get him at 79, right? Let's see. Where does Caleb go usually? 68. So there's a chance that I think that makes sense a little bit. And even if I don't get, let's see where Rome Odunze usually goes right now on this. We were just talking about him in the last video too. Well, not really talking about him, but he was part of it. So he's here at 58. So that kind of makes sense a little bit. There are other players that I think are still rising up the boards here, like Tootin. Actually, he's kind of stalled out a little bit, surprisingly. He had some juice, but he's rising up the boards a bit. So I think Odunze is a potential pick with my pick 55. And depending on what's available there, knowing that there's a chance that this guy passes and this guy passes on Caleb Williams, and then I can get him at 79, and he feels nice at 79, right? And I don't need right now. I don't know another wide QB that I want to take there. That's happened in the past where it's like, darn it, now Caleb Williams is available, but I also want this other QB, and right now that's not going to be the case. So this might be the perfect chance to go and try to get Rome with the next pick, depending again on what's available. Okay, let's just take Travis Etienne, Achane here at the value, and then we'll figure out the next pick. Boom. Getting these in the nick of time. Next one here. We got 21 minutes left on this one. Okay. I took one pick already, I guess, in Williams. I was really hoping on this one that McLaurin or Waddle would come back to me here for my wide receiver. Neither of them made it back. And so the question is, I got 2 Detroit Lions. I'm glad I've passed on this a couple times because this seems like something you just get every time if you want it, and I don't want it every time. But I think what we're going to do on this one is, I think I was thinking about doing it. Okay, this is another one where I think we're going to, I can't believe we're going to do it, talking about doing it on 2 different drafts. It's kind of like once you see it once, you start seeing it more times, I guess. Where does Caleb go in these drafts? 70. This is ADP. So this guy here probably wants AJ Brown because he's got, or not AJ Brown, sorry, he probably wants Drake May because he's got AJ Brown. This guy's pick here at 70 is a little bit ahead of ADP, not a ton, but a little bit ahead of ADP on Caleb Williams. Is there a chance that I end up getting Caleb Williams here at pick 72 on this one? And even if I don't, I'm setting up the other side of that with the Detroit thing if I want to, and grabbing Jared Goff at 97. It's a little pricey for him compared to where he goes. Where does he go? At 108. Maybe it's one of the, like I tried this before and it didn't work. 108's here. Depending on what's going on, maybe you can try to push him to 120. That happens sometimes with someone like him. The Amon-Ra drafted him just 1 pick earlier. He doesn't have any QBs yet, so that might be tough to push him around Amon-Ra, considering he's in the middle of the round instead of the closer to the end of the round. Meaning that if he lets him go past 103 and go to 114, it's even more value, and so he's even more likely to go and take the QB. But I think what we're going to do here, just to do something a little different than we've done every time, and avoid some of these running backs here this early, since we got 2 already, is I think we're just going to go and pull up Rome Odunze, something that doesn't happen. I don't think I've done it yet. Let's go and see if I have. Let's go to our Combo Catalyst tool, and we're going to synthesize this. And we're going to look up by Rome Odunze and see, or we'll do it by Gibbs. We've ended up with a lot of Gibbs. And we got him with, okay, so we got him with Jameson Williams just 1 time right now on our completed drafts. Although I think we have them in at least 1 other draft that's not completed yet type of thing. And do we have any Rome Odunze? Let's just not even look at Jameson since it's only 1 draft there. Let's just see out of the 5, do we have Rome with him at all? No, we don't. We still have 0 Rome Odunze, Jahmyr Gibbs. And I think that's something that we could do. And I think this is the time when you want to do it, when there's nothing else. You're like, ooh, I need that pick. just go and take a pick that makes sense for your build. And I don't think we're losing a whole lot between taking Rome and taking any of these other wide receivers. They all have, I think, similar ranges of outcomes. Like I said, Rome and Tate could even be flipped as far as which one's more exciting to have a stranglehold on a on a position like number one wide receiver. I don't think Rome has that stranglehold. I like Christian Watson more than Rome, but we'll pull up Christian Watson later on. I've probably already done that at least once. We're gonna pull up Rome this time to try to get this Detroit Chicago thing. I don't think we're losing a lot by doing it either, like I said. Let's make it happen. And there's a chance again, this is one where Caleb Williams can come back to us. Let's just kind of cue him up for fun. See what happens. Okay. We got one more? I think so. 16 minutes left on this one. Well, there's another one where I got one of the picks, Rico Dowdle. Yeah, I've been thinking about some of these. Okay. We got a couple. Oh, we got two QBs already. So, like, taking Dart here probably doesn't make sense. Although the Dart Scatabo thing, I think, could be fun. He's a pass catcher, and Dart threw enough passes to him, so it could make sense. We got Rico Dowdle here with our last pick, well past his ADP, which is nice. Like we were talking about in the last video, Rico Dowdle at this price, maybe he is a league winner, right? Like maybe he's the one that ends up being the hardcore starter based on injury or just based on performance. And so not a bad pick right there. We could stop at 4 wide receivers if we wanted to. There's another Jameer, or not 4 running backs if we wanted to. There's another Gibbs team. We passed up on Jameson Williams probably on this one. Let's see if we did. Yeah, we did. See, we just know we don't want to take him with every single draft. Okay, so what do I think we're going to do with this one here? We're not going to go running back. We're not going to go QB. We could go tight end. But we want to try to bring these tight ends back. So we're not going to go tight end, which means that really it's this, 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 I think is what we're looking at that makes the most sense for the team. And we're going to go, I don't think I've done this at all yet either. We're going to check it just to kind of confirm also for fun. I don't know. We'll check. Let's refresh this to get rid of our synthesizing that we had going on. We're going to go look up Hertz. There we go. We've drafted him 4 times. Let's see if we got. Okay, we pulled up Ricky Pearsall 1 time on a team. Let's go and see what that team looks like. We got a good value on Stefon Diggs, on Brooks, on Trey Harris, on this one. So the question is, do we want to pull up Ricky Pearsall? Oh, look at this one. This was a huge bring back game too. That's interesting. It's not bad at all. We did there. Got slightly bad value on Kenyon Sadiq. Again, on Ricky Pearsall, you're going to definitely have bad value here because we're talking pulling him up just a bit. So the question is, do we want to pull up Ricky Pearsall again? Or I think it's like Ricky Pearsall or Xavier Worthy is really what it is. And I'm actually more convinced to take Xavier Worthy at this point, just because we've already done the Ricky Pearsall thing 1 time. We don't need to pull up a player over and over again, someone that we're not really like bought into a whole lot. And I think Xavier Worthy's still rising up the boards. Let's kind of confirm. Okay, he's not one of the. It actually maybe stalled out a little bit. He's not really rising up a whole lot more. He was on the risers before. Pearsall's been falling as well, like we saw. He's down a couple picks. Just looking to see and Xavier Worthy. Is he a value? No, he's a value on DraftKings. He's kind of like all these wide receivers in this range are a little bit more expensive here. So really the question is, do we want Xavier Worthy, Ricky Pearsall, Jacoby, I guess, or Michael Pittman, I guess. But really, I think it's between Xavier Worthy and Ricky Pearsall. And then the tight ends, what do we got? We got Baltimore at 126, which is just range right there. That would make sense if we want to go and get that. And then isn't Goddard around the same place? 135. Wow. And so we could try to push Goddard to 144 as well. I mean, it's possible. It is possible. So I think that's what we're gonna, and we do have lemon, so um we don't need Goddard, but it would be nice if we could do it, especially at a value, right? So, and if we don't get him, we get Stowers at the end of the draft or something like that too. So last thing we're gonna look at then I guess is just for fun, how much Xavier Worthy do we have right now? I know we've gotten him with Patrick Mahomes, I think, in some videos, if I'm not mistaken. So those drafts are still going on. So we do have a good amount of Xavier Worthy already. Stacked them up with players oftentimes. You can see who we've stacked them up with the most. Do we have him with Hurts? We don't have him with Hurts at all. And do we have him with Lamar Jackson? No, we have Lamar Jackson one time. Okay, I think we're going to just go and take, in this one, I think we're just going to go and take Xavier Worthy is what we're going to do. Again, Xavier Worthy seems to be rising up the boards a little bit. I think it's stalled out a tad, but it's ahead of ADP. It's past ADP a little bit. We've already done the Pearsall and Hurts thing. It's something that I'm not super excited about. So we'll do it again later on because we're going to get a lot of Hurts in this range. Maybe Hurts falls and then we in a draft, or we take Hurts a little earlier in a draft, and then we can get Pearsall at closer to ADP when these other players aren't available, type of thing. And maybe Worthy isn't available at this price later on as well, because again, out of the two of them, the one that seems to have a more positive momentum is Xavier Worthy. So Xavier Worthy might end up kind of more in the middle of this range, or for example, if Patrick Mahomes rises up a little bit here, you can see Xavier Worthy following as you're trying to get the stack going over on the side as well. So I think getting ahead of that a little bit right now, and instead of just going for the bring back, we'll try to bring back like Stribling, or if George Kittle maybe makes it back as well. We probably don't want to do that one overall because we want to try to get Goddard to come back. Well, I guess we'd consider it depending on what was available. We're just going to do Xavier Worthy right now, is what we're going to do. And we are going to figure out the rest from there. And we do want probably 3 tight ends. I can see this one where we do go. I don't think that'd be a reason to get Kittle as well, but we probably want to get like a Gesicki on this team as well, like 3 late tight ends, which is another reason to not go for Laporta if we want to try to get a bring back on this Baltimore game, which I think is fun if you can make it happen. So we are going to go Xavier. With that too, I think we got to get Ja'Marr Chase and then take Lamar Jackson on a Ja'Marr Chase team if we can do it too, at least one time, if not more than one time. I think I've done it. Let's see if we've done it. I don't know if I've done it on Underdog. I think I've done it on DraftKings. Let's see. Lamar Jackson. Do we have any? Just Chase Brown, no Lamar, no Jamar Chase yet. Okay, so that's another thing that we probably want to do at some point in time. Okay, on this one, we are going to go Xavier Worthy, trying to play the market. Boom. And that gives us a 2-4-3-0. Again, we are definitely looking at Mark Andrews. I guess we consider Kyle Pitts, but I don't really want to do that one right there. And we'll figure out the next pick from there. Could be a wide receiver if there's a good wide receiver available. Could be maybe one of those guys a little bit. What's our next picks? 120. It's like if one of these guys make it back to us, a Matthew Golden, Romeo Doubs, Wendell Robinson, Casey Concepcion, I think those would be fun picks. Stefon Diggs might be a fun pick as well. Like he could go to Baltimore as their number 2. Pull him up a bit, but I don't think we'll get hurt too much by that one. Okay, there we go. This was a little bit longer, but let me know what you think. See you on the next one. Peace.